the senator from Arlington's remarks, and I know that she is committed to fighting this fight alongside of us. Many of these decisions, however, are made out of one office, and that happens to be the Senate President's office, and in the House, it is the Speaker of the House's office. So while I do appreciate all of the work that's been committed to being done in the committee process, I share that appreciation alongside of the knowledge that staff salaries in my office are set by the Senate President's office. The staff that I'm allowed to have in my office and their titles is set by the Senate President's office. How many staffers I have is set by the Senate President's office. And that's nothing to do with who happens to hold the seat currently, who held it in the past, who will hold it in the future. I'm speaking purely to the reality that that seat has that much power to be able to dictate these types of policy shifts in this building. And in the House, regardless of who the Speaker is, whether we like them, whether we're not their biggest fans, whatever the case may be, whoever is in that seat has a tremendous amount of power to impact these decisions. So I want to commend my good friend, the senator from Arlington, for her hard work on this, because she has worked very hard on this issue, and she has tried to assist in getting these provisions across the finish line like so many senators and representatives have done. But that advocacy is not being heard where it needs to be right now, in the place where the decisions are really being made. And it's just for the edification of the members, that amendment would have required health insurance to begin on day one for our staffers. And the response that I got when I tried to advocate for that was that that couldn't be done without this commission being done first. That everybody wanted it to be done, but that we couldn't do it without this commission. That's the only reason, Mr. President, that I agreed to this commission. I didn't want a commission to study this issue. I was told that this was impossible to do without it. And now what I'm hearing is that that might not have been the case, that we could have been on the phone with the GIC this whole time, making this happen, that we don't need policy changes to make this happen, potentially. We need to figure out what's actually the case regarding what needs to be done on this issue. And it was my understanding from what I heard the last time, when I took leadership's language and allowed for it to be substituted in the amendment that I drafted in coordination with my staff in a compromised version of what I wanted, I allowed for that conversation to happen, and I trusted that that commission was in fact necessary in order to make these changes. What's the reality here? Is it necessary or is it not necessary? I really think that we missed an opportunity here. I really do. And to hear that nobody heard about these issues until I brought them up in the budget, when I had sent out a survey and released the results of that survey to this entire membership, it's deeply disappointing once again. We had access to that information. We knew what staffers were upset about. and the circumstances they've been living in and the challenges they faced during the pandemic and the challenges they continue to face in trying to simply come to work in this building, that so many others across the Commonwealth are facing as well, but that they were able to highlight to us, trying to get their point across without having to do so publicly, out of fear of retaliation to their bosses for their speaking up, scared to talk about the challenges they're facing in this building because they're scared that their boss is going to be sent to the basement or lose their chairmanship or not be able to get any bills through conference committee. Because it's been demonstrated time and time again in this building what happens when you challenge the power structure through committee assignments, through salaries, through staff, and the ability to get staff, through the ability to get things through conference committee onto the governor's desk. Because some count and some don't. It needs to stop. And I hope once again, this is the reason I'm rising today. I hope that the commitments that have been made, that these issues are going to be worked on, actually come to fruition, so that the policy changes I will be filing as standalone bills and bringing to this floor at the next opportunity do not need to be brought up. Wouldn't that be great? I think that that would be great. If we could instill confidence in those serving alongside of us before those things have to come back to the floor. It'd be great if we could get on the same page about those things, and if we could start working on those things right now. I'm ready to start working on these issues. I know staff has expressed they would love to be heard out on these issues. Those that feel okay with being able to speak on this publicly. So we're here. We're certainly here. And we will continue to be here. And I thank those amongst my colleagues who are also committed to this issue for your vote on this, or your support on this when we did take this up. I hope that these issues are dealt with before we have to come to the floor again to talk about them. Thank you, Mr. President.